Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting episode of Find Your Voice and Own Your Space with Lady Jade. My name is Jade Sola Adewodun. I am a corporate communications executive, a communications coach, and a professional master of ceremonies. I'm the host for the Find Your Voice series. This series is a platform where business leaders and career professionals share their journey on how they found their voice in their different spheres of influence and how they are able to own their spaces and how they're able to maximize their influence. This is episode 2 of season 2. All right, and our guest for today is phenomenal. Now, just before we bring up our guest, we are live on YouTube at Lady Jade Global, and we're live on LinkedIn at Jade Sola Adewodun. Again, we're live on YouTube at Lady Jade Global, and we are live at LinkedIn at Jade Sola Adewodun. So make sure that you check um, these platforms, and of course, we'll watch out for your comments and your contributions rather in the comment section. So it's high time I bring up our speaker for today. He's a life coach. He is the founder of Teams on Purpose. He's an author of 6 books. Um, a leader in the publishing industry, and he's doing really, really amazing work. And I believe that he's on the call right now. Mordecai, I believe you can hear me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mordecai Orimiladeye. I want to believe that I got that correctly.
Yeah.
Hi, Mordecai. It's
Good
so good
evening.
to see you. How are you doing today?
I- I'm doing great. What about you? Hope you're doing
I'm very
fine.
well, thank you. Now, before you introduce yourself, what does your son name mean?
Okay. It's Orimiladeye. That means the crown fits my
Wow.
head. Orimiladeye.
Okay, that's the first time I'm hearing that, and it's a very powerful um name. And I'm curious to ask, are you from like a royal family of some sort? Oh my
No,
god!
no.
Because from
I'm from Ondo
when
State,
on the
but not
state,
where from
I'm curious.
Ondo Town, Ondo City, Ondo
Oh,
itself.
you're my kindred brother because I'm also from Ondo State, but that's not why we're here. Anyway, so it's good to have you on the Find Your Voice series.
Thank you.
So, Mordecai, how
Yeah.
has your journey been? How did you become a life coach?
Okay. So, first and foremost, at 17 years old, I discovered my purpose. And before that time, I was so clueless about life, like many young people. And I knew I struggled. I was so directionless. I just do things any way I like, right? Uh, until I discovered my purpose. And it was a challenge that brought me to discover my purpose. And that's why I tell people today that most time people wait for bad things to happen to them before they discover their purpose, before they start asking questions about why are they here, why are they in this world. Most people it's when they get involved in an accident. Most people it's when for young people maybe they get pregnant and then or some that got involved in something that's so catastrophic, right? They will not start thinking about their life. So something happened. I failed an exam and I was so tired about life. I started asking questions like, why am I in this world? Why am I here? So in the place of asking those questions, I started discovering purpose. And before then, I was filled with so much ambition, like many people today. My goal was that by 17 years, 16 years old, I'll go and study engineering in the university. By 21 years old, I'll graduate. 22, go for my master's. 23, maybe go for my NYC. 24, start working in an oil company and earning millions of naira. By 25, get married. 26, give birth to twins. 27, give birth to another twins. And 28, travel around the world happily ever after. That was my plan, and I'm sure many people have similar plans. Until my plans scattered, and then that's when I start asking questions about life and discover my purpose. And that purpose bettered vision because you don't just create vision. Your vision must come from your purpose. And then I start thinking about I'm going to impact young people. I'm going to help them discover their purpose and guide them to the journey. And that's how my journey towards life coaching started.
Fantastic. That's very beautiful to hear. Um, Now you said that. you like to impact young people. And I know
Yeah,
that you have an initiative for teenagers, which is Teens on Purpose International. Now, this
exactly.
circumstance that you found yourself helped you to fund that, right? So, at what point did you then decide to help other people?
Exactly.
Because for you to decide to help another person, it means that you are at a vantage point where you yourself as a person, you are stable, your legs are firm, you have a level of, you have a leverage, because if you don't have leverage, you can't pull another person up. So why teenagers? Why did you decide to
That's true.
go after teenagers to help them find purpose?
Okay, and it still that's a very good question, and it still fall back to what I shared initially, that I was clueless. Like I was involved in different things. Think about anything young people are doing that is bad or negative. I was involved in it before I turned 16 years old. But after discovering my purpose, I discovered that I now have direction. And now focus all those energy I have, and I have something to put it into. That's why when people see me today as a Mordecai, you just completed the project, you're already working on something else. Is that drive I have as a young person, but now I'm not channeling that drive, that passion into something meaningful. So and I thought about it that if every young person can find can discover who they are, discover their purpose, discover their passion, and find how they can channel their passion towards creating something,
Hmm.
creating a solution, becoming a part of the solution, not
Yeah.
part of the problem that need to solve. This world become a better place. Personally, through my life, I've impacted thousands of young people. So imagine every young person can just know their purpose. And how I was able to do that is because I discovered purpose. I always thank God for discovering my purpose when I was young. And although it delayed a bit because I had to go through different challenges, trying to find why I'm here, what I'm here to do, and stuff like that. But if I can help young people just know the pathway, the process, instead of trying to search and get confused and go into different things, if I can just give them the pathway, it becomes easier for them, right? To start. All the great people see today, the people in government, in CEOs of companies, most of them we can insult them or say different things about them that they're not doing well, they're not treating their workers well. But did they know what purpose is about? Most of them, their goal is money, their drive is money. But as a young person, if you know that your life is about impacting others, creating positive changes, like it will determine, it will affect it will create a positive difference in
Yeah.
our nation, Nigeria. So that's why I said, okay, let me catch them young. You know, all those young people in schools then that say, let's catch those girls young. So I said, let me catch young people for purpose, right? Because if you can do it that, instead of complaining next 10 years, 20 years about what's happening in the government and different parts of our economy, right? You can start saying that, oh, we have purposeful people there, filling the space, creating solutions and not creating more problems, right? So that's why I went for teenagers. Let me catch them young before it becomes too late. Yeah.
Fantastic. And if I hear you correctly, you are more of a guide and a connector, helping teenagers find their purpose and help them
Yes.
to redirect their energy.
Walk in line
Exactly,
with it.
because teenagers are very
Yes.
energetic. In my journey through life, I used to be an educator, and I used to work in a school, right? And the way the school is structured, the elementary session and the secondary school session, they're all in the same space. And I had the opportunity to be an assistant director to a play that the school had produced, and I had to deal with teenagers. And I realized that for teenagers, they want to feel like they belong. They want to feel like they part or something. They want to be treated like adults. They don't want to be told what to do. So how are you now able to how are you then able to manage their attention? How are you able to make them feel, because you have said that you direct them, but how are you able to connect with them for them to trust you enough to guide them on their journey?
Okay, so something about young people is that they love having someone to look up to, right? That's why you see many young people they see. Oh, this am I
Yes, you're
still
on. Please
on?
continue.
Let me
You're
be sure
on.
if I'm still on.
Please continue.
Okay. All right. So many young people love having someone to see as an inspiration, someone they can look up to, right? That's why you see young people having some celebrities as you see them pasting their pictures on their walls. You see them wanting to do what they do. So I thought about it that okay, if I'm to inspire these young people and not actually force them to do things, if I'm to help them to challenge their energy towards the right thing, first and foremost, I must become the inspiration. right? And like when I was young, I remember a story I had one time about if you want to change the world, right? A man was on his dying bed and he was thinking that my goal was to change the world, but at the end of the day, I'm on my dying bed and I'm here to change the world. That if I had known, if I have started by changing myself, then if I can change myself, I'll change my family. If I can change my family, I'll change my community, my state, my country, my then I'll change my continent. Then I cannot change the world. So I started by, for myself, right? I started. My goal was that I should become an inspiration to young people, so that they will see fulfilling purpose, impacting life. To see, they'll see it as something that is worth doing, right? And that's why every businesses I've built so far, all the impact I'm doing. Sometimes I don't do the things I do for myself. I do it because there'll be someone out there that will say, see what Mr. Mordecai is doing. If he can do it, I'll do it too. See what Mr. Mordecai is impacting lives. Mr. Mordecai is writing book. If he can do it too, right? Me too, I'll do it. So my way of inspiring them is to become the inspiration. That's why if during our programs, if I see young people meeting that, sir, I love what you're doing, do like that too. It gives me joy because that's the idea. Instead of them modeling people doing the wrong thing, right? And they are popular because it's not enough to be popular. Your popularity is about what, right? Are you influencing people to do? If your life is influencing people to do the wrong thing, I don't see that as something that is purposeful, right? So my goal is that let me become so influential, let me do something meaningful in my life, something that is impactful, that blesses life, and those young people be inspired by it. And that's I don't really force. You see young people that will tell me that I'm doing a program next week. I want to do something in my community. I'm happy about it because they've seen me doing it. You see them saying, I want to write books. They've seen me doing it. So my goal, my way of inspiring them is that instead of doing the wrong thing, like doing what is popular but not right, right? I choose to follow something like the purpose, like my vision, and then inspiring others to do the same thing in their own various ways, right? In line with their own passion and purpose.
Thank you very much. And that
Okay.
was very, very insightful. Now, you help teenagers, you inspire them rather to be able to live meaningful lives. At the same time, you've written 6 books. And I understand that writing a book is not child's play. And you've written 6 books. So how were you able to manage that? Because I know that managing an NGO is also not a walk in the park. And these are more or less heavyweight responsibilities. So how are you able to 6 books? You have an NGO. There's still some other things that we need to, probe into and whatnot. So how are you able to juggle both? And these books, were they designed only for teenagers? The books that you have written so far?
Okay, so personally, what helped me when I was young was that I have books. I have access to books. My dad was a pastor. Is a pastor, right? And we have a house full of books. So when I was asking those questions about my life, I thought I was very confused, and I was looking for what to direct my energy into. And after being facing that challenge I faced when I was younger, I was just thinking about how I can discover myself. And thank God for the books I read because I had access to books. I started reading books that serve as a guide to me. That's when I started knowing about purpose, about vision, about goal setting. In fact, I started reading about business, right? Thanks to books. So I thought about it that if a book can guide me, even when I can't see the person directly, that means at every stage of my life, I want to create a footprint, something that I tell people that after going through challenges, don't just go through it as a victor, go through it with strategies that will help people to come that's coming behind you. So after my teenage years, I wrote a book, The Purpose Driven Teenager. And the idea of the book is to guide teenagers through their journey of through their teenage years as they navigate their teenage years. I clocked 30 some months ago, and after clocking 30, I wrote a book, Maximizing Your 20s, to guide young people through the. So I see my book as it's like the book's like a calling to me because I see that people are confused. I can't really serve everybody, share myself in different places, but I can have something that regardless of where they are, they can see stories, they can see strategies, they can see something, and books inspire people. So my goal, writing a book is just like something that drives me. I just see it as myself point myself into somewhere else. When I'm no longer here, there'll be something they can look forward to. I may not be there present with them, but they can see something to look forward to. And that's why, despite the struggles and stress that come in writing books, I just put in the effort. But thanks to having a team, because something about it is that if you have a vision, right, people are drawn to it. If you have a purpose, people are drawn to it. People want to be part of something big. Have discovered that people want to be part of something. We recently completed a project in June, and we visited 131 schools in 29 states in
Secondary
Nigeria
schools.
and impacted 30, yes, 131 schools,
Well done.
secondary schools in Nigeria in 29 states and impacted 36,000 students. We were able to achieve that because there's a team. Everybody is looking for someone they can be. That's why I said about you need to be an inspiration that will draw people. You will see people 19 years old speaking to students because they were drawn to be part of it, right? So the idea is that I have a team that I didn't go to all the states, right? But people are drawn to your vision. They want to be part of it. They are ready to sacrifice their time, their energy. That's why the first thing I tell people to discover in life is purpose. If you can discover your purpose, capture a vision in life, your purpose, people will be drawn to it. People love light. People will be drawn to light. And why I was able to write books in part because I have a team that is part of it, that are drawn to that vision, they are passionate about. They see it as theirs, right? So it gives me the room to do other things. So as I'm speaking to you now, we do programs in our community for young people for the past 5 years. We have people that have been with us for the past 6 years or 5 years, holding programs every week, webinars over 40 or 50 webinars now so far. Because I was able to do all those different things because I have a team that have discovered I can align myself to this vision, to this purpose, and then it gives me room to do more things. So imagine I'm traveling to those 29 states. I want to be able to do it. But I because of the vision, people are drawn to the vision. I train them on how they can implement it, and I'm able to do other things that also fuels that vision to spread wider. So let me just put it that way. That's how I'm able to
Thank
write
you
books
so
and do
much,
other things too.
Mordecai. That is very, very insightful and inspirational. I'm going to take a quick look at our YouTube channel. We have comments from some of
Okay.
our viewers, right? So we have the mechanic. Thank you so much. He's welcoming you. He says, "Yay, good, so good to be here. Welcome, Mr. Mordecai." Mr. Upgrade also greeted. Good evening, Mr. Upgrade. Thank you for joining us on the call. We have TJ Chunu, and he said, "Be the meaning that helps others find meaning." And that is. Thank you so much, TJ Chunu. That is the summary of what you have just explained to us. That you decided to make your life meaningful, so that when teenagers then see you, they can say, "Okay, this is a role model I want to model my life after." Now, you are inspiring teenagers,
Exactly.
you have a team that runs it, and then you have a publishing firm. Again, how do you balance? Because I mean, there's this conversation of work-life balance, and even though I know that you can't do all of these things without having a team. Now, I want to ask this question:
Yeah.
is it the same? Let me rephrase that. Do you publish your books? Do you publish your own books?
Exactly. I publish my books.
Fantastic.
I write it and publish it.
Fantastic. So, how do you juggle being in being the head of a publishing firm, running an NGO, and being a life coach? You also have a digital advertising or digital marketing company. So
Agency.
those are like four expressions from one person. So how do you juggle these balls without either of them suffering for the other? Now, if I may ask, are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
No, I might 7 months ago, like
Congratulations.
7 months
Happy
ago.
married life to you.
Thank
Again,
you.
how do you
Yeah.
juggle these balls without neither of them dropping? Because it takes a lot of commitment. You're newly married, you're enjoying the togetherness of being with another person in your life, planning together as a team. So how do you manage this, all of these many expressions at the same time? Because for me, there's a place of purpose, there's a place of family, relationships, and also because we don't want to become so inspirational that our private lives suffer. I mean, yes, you're Yoruba. There's a word of it that I heard someone say one time, adaranijo. It's interpreted to mean that someone that okay, so it's a full statement that says adaranijo ma daranile. It's interpreted to mean that someone that is good outside in the church, but is horrible at home. So for an interesting description, you're freshly, because 7 months you're still fresh in this marriage matter. You're a freshly baked married man, And then you have all of these expressions. Mordecai, how do you do these things?
Okay, so everything happened at different phases in my life, right? I didn't just start everything once. Like I said, after discovering my purpose, at everything I'm doing now, right, it's already planned. Like I had a picture of it, so I'm not shocked by it. And in fact, what I'm doing now is just the beginning, right? There's still more to do. But because I have a purpose and a vision, my vision is just to inspire people. And I knew that I'm someone that love managing things. Like I find joy in it. I love
Mm,
building things and things that impact people. So the first thing is that everything I started, it's in line with the vision. From the publishing company to the digital agency, it's I tell you that if purpose drives you, nothing can stop you. That's why the first thing is purpose. I keep saying it. Even getting married, relationship, purpose, my friends, purpose. Everything is about purpose. Everything about my life is about purpose, right? So the first thing is that everything I started so far is at different phases, responding to different demands. For example, in 2017, while I was doing my IT and I love inspiring people, right? And I just post quotes on my WhatsApp. But at the time, I decided to start a platform, a digital platform called Modi Quotes, right? That is in 2017. And the goal of that platform is that I don't want to give people hope. I want everybody to have something that see them through their day, something that inspires them to just go through their challenges. And I started Modi Quotes in 2017. And uh, due to my passion, I create quotes every day. I'll link everything to your question, right? To the answer to your question. In that 2017, I started Modi Quotes. I created a Facebook page and I committed to writing quotes every day to inspire people. So far, I've written over 3,000 quotes and with over 300,000 followers and in 101 countries. But it's that passion that drove me, that purpose to just inspire people. So that was in 2017. In 2019, I was posted to serve in River State. And when I go to the River State, I was thinking I'll be posted to Port Harcourt, but at the end of the day, they posted me to a village. It's called Ataba community. I go there, I see young people. You see, after secondary school, some of them already they are pregnant already. Some of them see young people involved in secret cult and different things. I got there, I knew that I'm not here by mistake. It's for a purpose. So that's where I started the organization, Things on Purpose. Every Saturday for the 1 year I was in that community, I gathered the teenagers in that community, teach them about purpose. After school hours, teach them about life because they don't know it is it's like a community surrounded by water, right? So they don't know anything that's happening,
yeah.
and that's why they're involved in what they do. That's how Things of Purpose started. I visited the first secondary school then. In 2021, after NYC, and I knew that I want to impact more people, but I need funding for it. What can I do? And again, the Modicos platform, I told you I created an inspirational platform where I'm inspiring people.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to reach millions of people around the world, but it's not reaching people sometimes. Only a few likes and stuff like that, few shares. I was not really motivated sometimes. Only purpose that was driving me through those years. So in 2020, after NYC, I spent time studying digital marketing. I took courses on digital marketing and I applied what I was learning to build Modi Codes. And in 1 year, we gained 100,000 followers in 1 year.
Well done.
And I was able to set up different platform around it. So also Money Course helped me more in my organization, Things on Purpose, because I was not able to reach more young people because I started running ads, I started creating platforms and creating Facebook groups based on what I was learning. So and I said, okay, what I am digital marketing have impacted me so much and increased my visibility. Let me now start helping businesses to do that.
Mm.
So in 2021, I started Modulator, the digital agency. So it's just to use what I have done for myself to help businesses. And in the last few years, we've worked over 100 businesses. What I'm trying to say is that everything I didn't start it once. It's a call to, like, it's based on the need for that season of my life, that phase of my life. So I see people that say, Mr. Monica, you are doing this, you are doing this. I will do everything. No, you get exhausted. That's the beginning of frustration. Everything I built so far, I spent time with it. I've already built the systems around it, built structures around it that whether I like it or not, every day I must write codes. There's between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. is for code writing. And after writing the quotes, there's a template already. After writing the quote, share on Facebook. There's a pattern for posting. Now I don't do it myself. I have people that do that now. But I'm not saying at that season of my life, before I move to something else, I make sure there's a system and structure for continuity. Because what's the sense of building something when it won't last? I don't build something that will just say, are you still doing it? No, you're not doing it again. No. I know that everything I'm building is having a purpose and it's here to last, right? So I started more data in 2021. In 2023, I discovered I'm inspiring people with my quotes, right? But after the inspiration, they'll be motivated, but their life is not really changing enough. It's not enough to inspire people, right? And then that's when I started Motivate Life Coaching, my life coaching company. I took a course on life coaching. I learned about it before, and I discovered that even before I started that become before I become a certified life coach, I'm already coaching people already. I didn't know when I started doing it professionally now. So that was in 2023. And last month, about 6 months ago in December, we started the Betting Was Publishing. And how I started it is that my wife, she's into she loves writing. I love writing too. She's written 2 books. I've written 4 books. So why can't we start writing
You've
books for
written
other
six
people? Because
books,
people
not four. Or is it
no, I've written 6.
so hold on, because you're saying you've written 4 books and your wife has 2 books. So I want to be clear. Is it the 6th book? Is it a sum of your 4 books and the 2 books from your wife, or you as an individual you've written 6 books and then your wife has written 2 books?
So it's 6 books. I wrote 4 books before I started the publishing company. So this year I've written 2 books.
This year
So as at
alone.
by December, I've only written 4 books. But by this year, I published the first in March and second last month in a conference in Lagos here, maximizing your 20s. So this is my
Done.
6th book. So it was in December that we now started that company. That okay, let's start helping people publish their book because some people have voice, something in their hearts, but sometimes money stop them from publishing. Sometimes they don't know that they even have a voice. And in the last 8 weeks, in the last 8 months now, between now, we've published about 13 books for people, 13 books for different people around Nigeria. So everything was in different seasons, and I was able to manage it because after building anything, I have a team that manages it. That I put in. I train people. Sometimes it's not easy training people, right?
It's
But
not.
if you
It's
want
not.
people to
I'm a trainer myself. I understand the human beings will
it's
be
not
human
easy.
beings. Please continue.
Yes, but the first and foremost, why I was able to train them because before when I hire anybody, I don't just start telling them that okay, do this. I first let them buy into the vision by letting them know what their own vision for life. And then once I know their own vision for life and their purpose, they will be shocked by my questions because our first interview, I'll be asking about what's your purpose, why are you in this world, what's your vision, what can you see ahead. There are things that is about the company, not about them, but that's an idea because once I know their purpose and vision, I can now see how it connects to what I'm doing. Then they will not do it. They see my platform as a training ground for them to better express what they are doing.
Hmm.
So they do my work with so much energy and
Joy.
enthusiasm because they're helping themselves. So even without being fully there, I know that the work is going on well because there are people that are trained and they are buying into the vision. And that's why I'm able to do other things. And then I discovered something. I started getting overwhelmed in 3 years ago. I started getting overwhelmed because I'm traveling and doing also. So I now went to start studying about productivity. And that's why for the past 2 years now I've been teaching about productivity. Because if you have purpose and you're not productive, you will not fulfill your purpose. That's why people are burnt out, people are already clueless, are tired already. Something you are passionate about, if you don't know how to manage yourself, right? You will lose passion for what you're actually passionate about and you'll be confused about like that. But this is my passion. So I started studying about productivity and I discovered that productivity is not about even time management. It's about
Hmm.
managing yourself. So that's a game changer for me because I now discovered that instead of trying to manage time because there's never enough time to do everything. So I now started focusing on managing myself. That's why my normal day, in the first 4 hours of the day, I am done with the work for the day. Because I've already learned morning is my most powerful time. Between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., I'm done with my major work for the day. Right? After I've spoken with my team, do this. And then the other time, I have the time to now, I work from home. And it's also strategic because in 2020, I told myself to do everything I want to do, travel to different states. I must learn a skill that will help me work from home. So that's why I learned digital marketing. So I've never really worked in any company like going to the traffic of Lagos. I've never experienced that before. That's why
It
I
is the
usually
shade.
sometimes
It
I
is
enjoy
the
what I'm
shade
doing
of those
because
that go to the traffic. Why are you shading them? Why are you doing that?
no, not
Monica, why are
shade.
you shading people?
But that's not shade. Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
the idea, right? I knew what I want to do ahead
Mhm.
because my vision. So I planned ahead. I had to learn the skills, develop myself in it, and then I start. So I have time to do things like about time. I have time to speak, to travel around, to do. I have time because there's a vision. There are teams that are committed to that vision, and and then I've learned about productivity that is about self-management, not really time management. I can manage my energy, know my peak hours, schedule time for those things, and then so that's how I'm able to manage different things. My knowing about productivity, having a vision, and also having a team that you have trained that can sustain what you are doing.
Wow. Well done. You have built a
Thank
structure.
you.
Now, is there any point whilst you're building your teams, have you met people that their visions did not align with yours? If you have found people like that, how did you realign them to either work with your vision, or did you have to let them go?
Okay, so like I said, one thing about vision is that it will draw people to you. Like having a purpose and vision, it will draw people to you. So most time, even if they are drawn to me and they is not aligned, at the end of the day, they find themselves aligning to it. Let me like because people want to be part of something great. I've discovered that. That's why when I see people trying to search for people, be part of my this thing, right? The best way is like having a sugar and then ants just come naturally to it, right? So build yourself, build what you do so much that people be excited to be a part of it. People that don't have a purpose, when they come to you, they find purpose. Because what is the end of it? My goal is to impact people, right? So even though they don't have a purpose, they are not aligned to it. The idea is not to really be aligned to what I am doing. The idea is that they should know their purpose. They should know that they are trying to solve problems. And if you are really interested in solving problems, in my various organizations, you will always find there's problems to solve. Do you get? So it's not about really aligned to exactly what I am doing. As long as you have passion for solving problems, you will learn everything somewhere aligned, right? You will learn about solving problems. You learn about managing teams. You learn about managing your time. You learn about just helping people. Imagine some of the things we do, we fund it with hundreds of thousands, millions. One my recent program, we spend millions on it, right? But it's not, no, the program was free. People are not paying. Why are you doing it? It's about the more you help people, right, the more resources will come. So when they are seeing those things, they are inspired by it. And they too, if they go and start their own venture, it will inspire them because the goal is that you should not be driven by money. The goal is to be driven by purpose. So most times it's not about them aligned to exactly what I'm doing, but finding purpose to solve problems and then solving the problems in line with their own. But the principle of solving problem is the same thing. The principles you are learning as I pursue my vision, the same principles you apply to solving your own vision, whatever it is. So it regardless of it, if you come, you always find purpose and alignment. That's the
I
idea.
mean, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Now, you talked about money. When you keep running purpose, the funds will come. Now, I'm curious. How do you fund? Because I mean, I understand that the businesses fund themselves when you publish for people, when you coach people, when you do your digital marketing and you help businesses grow. Now, is it the revenue or the extra money from these businesses that you use to fund the NGO, or do you go out to get grants for your NGO? How do you fund? Because it's good to have purpose, but purpose without finance will lead to frustration. So how are you
Exactly.
still this fired up? What about three other expressions: digital marketing, life coaching, and publishing? And they still have an NGO, because I know that NGO is income intensive. So do you apply for grants? Do you make the NGO a CSR project for all your businesses? How do you make it work? Because I know that there are people on this call, probably someone that's going to watch this video again, and they have an NGO and they're wondering, how can we fund? Where can we get grants from? And they probably don't have the clarity and the sense of direction that you have.
Okay, so that's a very good question. But first and foremost, fun. We started, so our organization closed 6 years, some months last month, right? And so far, we've not really gotten like a fund from any really like a fund from any organization. We are looking forward to it. We have applied for some that we have not gotten yet. But the idea is that before I started, I've already researched about NGOs and how can I fund what I am doing. And that's one of the reasons why I knew that I became more intentional about learning digital marketing in 2020 because to push this vision. I've seen people that they have vision and they'll be looking for, in fact, almost begging for money to run their own vision. But people are not really inspired by it. Most time I discover that people are actually inspired by some that is thriving, some that is growing. So I told myself, Mordecai, you have to put in the effort to make the money yourself that you to fund what God has sent you to do. So that's why in 2020, learning digital marketing then was like a calling for me because it's not just about making money, it's about making money to fund everything I'm going to do. So if you're doing programs, in fact, at the first three years, we didn't get one. The things I get is just encouragement. You are doing well, you are doing great. That's what we got. So I already knew that Monica,
It's so
I
so
started.
that's usually at the early stages. I mean, it's normal. Please continue.
Yeah, so that's why I discovered that I had to learn that skill. That's why it's important that And the idea, and I know the idea that is that when people see something that is growing, people want to be a part of it. But before it grow, you must spend money. But you can't spend money by begging for money because don't forget I said that I want to become an inspiration to young people. And so this strategy I'm sharing now is what I teach them to learn a skill. I know you have discovered your purpose. I'm not passionate about digital marketing. Let me say it very well. I'm not really passionate about
You need
rolling
to
ads.
pay
It's not
the
easy.
bills,
The setting of
Mordecai.
the
You
app.
need to pay the bills. See, I'm loving it. This
Exactly.
this
Right.
is
So
the this is the crux of this
yeah, but
conversation. You don't have to love it
yeah,
as long
but
as it pays the and this is the crux of this conversation. Please continue.
yes, but the idea now is that I love it because I knew that learning that skill is also helping me. So if you can find ways to ensure that skill you want to learn aligns to your overall vision. For example, I learned digital marketing to grow my platform to reach my motivational platform to
Okay.
reach more people. In the place of learning that skills and growing my platform, I start applying. The goal is making money is about solving problems. So I discovered if I solve more problems for people, I'll make more money. But the interesting thing is about if you are solving problem in line with what you love to do, that's very interesting. For example, I wanted to grow my platform, Modi Quotes. I learned digital marketing to grow it. And now the same principle that I learned to grow it is what I'm applying to other organizations now to grow their platforms too. Same thing with book publishing too. I learned the book publishing, how to publish on Amazon, seller, everything to help my books. My fourth book, third book has been read in 12
Well
countries.
done.
My third book, The Purple New Teenager, it has been read in 12 countries. Some of the millions have some of the dollars I've earned so far is majorly from that book. That is very, I don't know, it's just happening. I guess it's in line with purpose because if you're in purpose, the goal is not about myself, it's about other people. I guess God will find a way to amplify your work and make the right people see it. So the idea of what I'm saying is that I had to learn the skill because I know I need the money to fund. Not that I'm interested in it, but the idea is that I start finding purpose in what I'm doing because when I start seeing organizations or businesses that you help me reach these people, more people are seeing my business. I'm also passionate and enjoying it because wow, I'm also helping in the place of making more money to impact to fund my projects. I'm also helping people also increase their so. It's like it's an interesting thing. The idea is that find ways to solve problems. That's the idea. Whatever you love doing, right? Find ways to use to solve problems for people. And then the money I gain from it, that's what I invest into the organization. Building like traveling, we don't tell that why we don't solely we appreciate funds, right? And the idea is that when people see you're not even begging them for money, that's when they're interested in investing in it. I remember some months 2 years ago, someone that I didn't expect just called me and said, "Give me one of the largest amounts we've gotten in the organization." I didn't ask for it. He saw the work we are doing, sharing your story, right? He saw the work we are doing, and but I wouldn't have been able to share the story if I've never had money to fund it at the beginning. So, guys, you want to fund anything? I currently now we are looking for how to get all those grants you mentioned. Like we know it will amplify the work. For example, next year we are going to reach out to 36 states in Nigeria, impact 100,000 students. That will cost a lot. So we are really soliciting. We are working towards that now. But at the beginning, and it's easier for me now because we have the track record. But the track record wouldn't have been there if I've not learned the skill to invest in the beginning, to make money, to fund it. Because now people want to be part of it, but it won't have been that way if they've not seen this. Now everybody sees things on people. So it's not like that. Like in the beginning, you have to use your money, use your energy, use your everything, right?
Thank
And
you so much,
that's it actually.
Mordecai. That was quite an answer. I'm gonna take a quick look at the conversations on YouTube. We have got a bit further African. I want to believe that that's Andrew. Thank you so much. And he says, Lego, what a plan. And again, TJ Chuno is back with another an insightful comment. He says, for every vision, there is provision. When people see value, they appreciate it with value, basically monetarily in return.
That's
And
true.
of course, go a bit further Africa is hailing Mr. TJ. I have to bring Mr. TJ on my show because at this point, Mr. TJ is taking over the comment section at this point. So I would have to find a way to get Mr. TJ Chino to be on this show because you cannot be dropping gems in the comments and we're not having live on the show. All right. I mean, thank you so much. Again, a quick recap on what you have, talked about, Mordecai, is the fact that in the earlier stage, you need to first believe in yourself. You need to invest in your own vision. Nobody, nobody invests in a vision that doesn't have a track record. Nobody invests in a vision that doesn't have a track record. Thank you so much, the mechanic. Thank you. By the way, the mechanic was our last guest for season one. He was one of our guests for season
Wow.
one. Thank you so much for being a big supporter of the Find Your Voices. We really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, the mechanic. Right. So I love the passion. I love that you're able to balance the income, the revenue, and purpose is going. And I think you need to have a masterclass for a lot of what's it called business owners, because a lot of people have businesses, but they don't know how to balance it with philanthropy and whatnot. Now, what would be your final words? Because I mean, because of the time, we need to wrap things up as quickly as possible. Now, what would be your words to any young person out there? Because in this generation, the younger people are taking over the world. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, tech. Young people are rising up to the occasion to make sure that they control the narrative to an extent. And now you're married. I mean, there's still going to be childbearing somewhere in the future, right? So, how do you then maintain all of this with your identity intact? Because one of the key struggles of most young people these days is identity crisis. So, how are you able to do all of this without it getting to your head, without you losing yourself, and at the same time, you can still be as inspirational and impactful as you are now?
Okay, so first and foremost, so let me start with my last words, right? And is that every young person, they must understand that the best foundation to build their life is the foundation of purpose. I always say purpose because that's what has helped me so far, right? The foundation of purpose. You must see that you are not here for yourself, right? You are here for others. In whatever you do, your goal should be to how can I impact, how can I make this place better? In fact, even on TikTok, whether you're on TikTok, in that your place of work, wherever you find yourself, just think about it that how can I make something better? It's not about you. This one is not about you. It's about others. See, if you take it away from yourself, right? It's easier, it's more interesting to live. You desire to live because there's always problems around and they're calling for answers, and you have answers inside of you. So see yourself as the answer the world needs. All this identity crisis that's happening, people attack. I've asked myself a question that Mordecai, if your platform Modico's that have over 300,000 followers, if it's maybe it got banned today or something happened to it, will you still be yourself? I'm sure that many young people, the hundreds of thousands of followers or they have across different platforms, if they lose it, they can lose themselves because they've attached their identity to it. So I tell people that first and foremost, let your life be in your purpose, and you must make sure that your identity is beyond what can vanish. Your identity should be attached to something that is beyond you, something that has that lives forever, that lasts forever.
Yes.
I don't know if you get my point. First and foremost, teenagers attach their identity to what they can see, to their friends sometimes, to their followers online, to the likes and the views on their posts. But that is transient, like it can't last. If it falls or breaks, you will lose yourself. You won't be able to think effectively. The best thing to attach your identity to is something that outlives you, something that is meaningful, something that can't change. And that's why, as a Christian, I attach my identity to God. That's the best person I can attach my identity to, right? So that's why, as young people, you must know that you are here for a purpose, and your identity is beyond your followers, your likes. Your identity is who your creator says you are, and you must attach your identity to your creator, God. And if you can just start with that, that's the foundation. In the book I wrote, I said the foundation for your life, for the book is maximizing your 20s, right? And I said the foundation is you must discover your identity, who you are. You must discover your purpose, why you are here. And your identity and purpose will start shaping the kind of vision you have. And if you can know those three things, it will bet clarity in your life. And then you know that you are moving your life in direction with wisdom, with insight. So that's the final thing I can tell young people. Know your identity, attach it to your creator, discover a purpose for your life, a purpose that is connected to who you are and who he has created you to be. And then capture a vision in line with your purpose. For example, if your purpose, let me just break it down. For example, your purpose, you discover that you love children. That's your own purpose. You just love taking care of children, make them feel happy. Your vision can be align your vision to your purpose. It can be setting up an organization that will cater for children, maybe a school or something like that. You must align your vision to your purpose, right? And then start setting goals in line with those vision. If you can do that, you live with direction, live with purpose, you live with meaning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, you had said something. based off of your last statement, and you said that if you, for example, you like children, or you have an affinity to children, you can set up an organization. Now, I want to ask this question: do you think it is safe? Because Mordecai, not everybody has the grace that you have. So, is it completely safe for them to go, boom, head start first, or they take their time to observe? Because it's one thing to have an affinity for something and know not, because in your case you had to go and learn. So is it wise, is it wise for them to just go head start, or take your route?
Yeah. So first and foremost, all this I'm doing actually, I have spent time serving other people doing
Okay.
similar things. So in fact, in serving people, you start learning, right? You can't just jump. Anything that will last, you must have is built on the right knowledge. It was someone that said that anything that is standing is understanding that make it stand.
Say it again,
Like
say it again.
I don't know the voice, but anything that is standing.
Say it again. What
What
you
you
just said,
say?
say it again.
Like anything that is standing, it is
Hmm.
understanding that make it stand. So before you venture into something, at least you know some things about it, and that involves actually serving someone that is doing similar to it. So you can't just go and start an organization. You know the process behind it. You know what some things you need to have on ground to start it. So you can't just start, right? In fact, it's safer because someone has built something. You are serving what the person is doing, and they are learning the principles, everything that's involved in making it run and stand. And from that insight, in fact, you will build relationship in the process, you build networks in the process, you learn some skills in the process, and that's when you know you're ready to start something, you know you're ready. But only that, what my mentor said, he said that if you're waiting to be ready, you're already late.
If
Let
you're
me say that
waiting to
again.
be
If you
ready,
are
you're
waiting to be
late.
ready, you're already late. And that's why everything I started, I just know I have the basic understanding about it. And then I know it's backed up with vision, my purpose is the foundation. And then I know that I'll figure when we started, I didn't all the top outreach, top convert, I didn't know I was okay about everything. But I started based on the understanding I have back with the purpose and the experience I've gotten from serving people when I was 17, serving an organization, doing something similar then. So it was just easy to know, okay, you organize program, you organize outreaches, go to schools, and it was easier to implement because I've served someone that have done similar thing in the
Thank you.
past, right? So don't just venture into it. At least
Mm.
have some understanding and then
Thank you,
go without fear.
Mordecai. So to reiterate what you just said, regardless of whatever your vision is, the wise thing to do is to learn, and you can only learn from the place of service. When you spend time with those that are the masters, or those that have gone ahead of you, so that you have a zero um error margin. You don't have to make the same mistakes that they would have made.
Exactly.
You are able to stand on their shoulders and make informed decisions. Thank you so much, Mordecai. I believe that any young person that watches this video would be able to go home with one message, which is that understanding your purpose helps you to know how to plan your life more effectively. Because who would have thought that a Mordecai that had gone through a certain circumstance a few years ago is now running three organizations, helping teenagers fulfill purpose, and you can function effectively without you being hands on with this organization. I believe that you deserve a round of applause, by the way. Well done. Well done, well done, well done. Now, what would you say about collaboration? Have you had to collaborate with anyone in your journey, as a publisher, as a digital marketer, as a life coach, as a founder of the Teams for Purpose initiative? And how has it positively or negatively impacted your business? That'll be our final question.
Okay, and there's a quote by John C. Maxwell that I so much love. I read in one of his books and said that nothing great is built on one person. Like nothing great, anything I say is great. It's not built by one person, right? And throughout my journey, like I've really collaborated with people at different ways and different times. For example, starting this publishing company, and the thing about it is that when you are in line with purpose and you have a calling to do something, God find a way to bring people around you that will help you fulfill it. For example, this public company we started some months ago in December. Imagine it's due to a collaboration with someone. I have a skill, I bring something to the table, and and in fact, the person, God just brought the person intentionally to my way. Imagine you don't know someone before, and then in the season you want to start something. That's when the person found you and you found yourself. So it's like I brought my skills and my own abilities, the person brought his own, and that's what makes things seamless. So collaboration has really helped me. I can't imagine, I wouldn't have done most of the things I've done, I wouldn't have done it without collaboration, both from my team, both from partners. In fact, the organization I've built at the early stage when we still struggle in building like my digital agency is because I partner with a friend of mine who is a master graphic designer, right? He's very good at what he does. So at the beginning, when sometimes you work with people, they don't pay you. So we understand each other, right? Because we know that we know a vision that we are going towards something. We only have idea, but thank God for the collaboration. Because imagine if I had to just do everything by myself, I would have struggled. Most of the things I don't do it myself. Thank God for collaboration. With the digital agency, collaborate with graphic designer, a close person, we work together to build things. So the struggles we go the struggles together, the success we go through it together. Same thing with starting the public. Same thing with starting a public company. We do some work with it. We also have partners, a partner that works together, we collaborate together. So he does his own part, we do our own part, and we combine as a force, right? So if you want to build something great, you need collaboration. Like if you're not building something great, don't worry, you can try to do it yourself. But if it's greatness you are going for, something that will be global, something that will outlive you, right? You need collaboration. And the best way to collaborate is that have a purpose, have a vision. You guys must align together because there's imagine if you're not aligned together, you're already breaching or destroying what you are building already. Right? You must that's why it's important again, you must have a purpose and vision. Because the thing about purpose and vision that it draws people to you at the right time, the right people come to your life, and you know that this one is for this season of your life. Not everybody that will last forever, right? But at least they'll fulfill. There are people that I've worked with that we no longer work with together. We still communicate, but their season in our life, in my life, is over already. We still talk, but as regards that project, we don't talk. Are you getting my point? So every time, every season of your life, God will bring the right people to your path, but you must have the wisdom to discern those kind of people, and also have something you are building, so that when those right people come, they'll be drawn to it. There'll be something you can work together to build, and something that'll be great, right? So
Thank
that's what
you
I can say
so
about
much,
the collaboration.
Mordecai. I mean, this is again one of my most insightful episodes yet. I mean, every episode on the Find Your Voice series has always been a banger, back to back to back to back to back. So, and I'm really glad, and I really want to say thank you for jumping on this on very short notice. Thank you for opening your world up to us at the Find Your Voice series. I'm very grateful for you. And I hope that we get to do this again and again. Hopefully, maybe like in season three, we can bring you in season three. But thank you so much, Mordecai. Um, you have opened us up to realize that indeed a single tree doesn't make a forest. You need to be able to align with people that they help your vision to go far. Thank you so much, Mordecai. And once
Exactly.
again, we are live on YouTube at Lady Jade Global and on LinkedIn at Jade Sola Dewodo. And to everyone who has engaged us during the TJ, you're coming to the show. TJ, I'm going to find you. I will look for you and you will be on the show. I don't know how, but I will find you. You must come to this show. You must excuse me. You must come to this show. Oh my goodness. TJ, see, you're making me to cough. What's going on? Okay, pardon me, please. So thank you so much, the
Same.
mechanic. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. Go a bit further, Africa. Thank you to everyone that engaged on the comment session or section rather for this live conversation. Thank you. Your insights and your inputs have been pretty engaging. Thank you so much. So the mechanic, please help me to go into TJ's DM on my behalf because the mechanic is my person. So please, I know that if I get to the mechanic, I've got into TJ as well. So thank you so much, TJ. I look forward to bringing you on. I'm looking forward to bringing you on the show. And of course, Mordecai, thank you. Where can we find your books? How can we find you on social media so that anyone that watches this video can connect with you?
Okay, so I'm Mordecai Orimiladeye across all
Okay.
social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, right? And any of those platforms, once you click the link in bio, you find you gain access to all my different books on Amazon or Seller, all that things. Mordecai Orimiladeye across all social media platforms.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mordecai. It's been a honor
yeah.
and a pleasure having you on the show. Regards to your very beautiful wife. And thank you once
Thank
again.
you,
And I really wish you the very best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been quite a very insightful conversation. And this episode is going to be live on YouTube at Lady J Global, and the replay will also be available on LinkedIn at Jade Sola Adewodun. Thank you so much, everyone, to our YouTube champions. Thank you for engaging us in the comment section. We really deeply appreciate you. Thank you, thank you. Till I come your way for another exciting, intriguing, mind-opening episode of the Find Your Voice and Own Your Space. I remain Jadi Soladewadu, your host, and of course the founder of the Find Your Voice series. Till I come your way again next week, Wednesday. Have a lovely evening and good night. Bye for now.